Hello, all you music lovers. Welcome back. Today, I want to talk about mono compatibility with trance or other EDM style genres. And the reason mono compatibility is so important is that you can, under certain situations, depending on the way you have your uh, plugins arranged, you can end up with a little bit of phase cancellation. And so mono compatibility will help you kind of fine tune that and eliminate some of that so that you don't have like your big wide pads. All of a sudden when they go to mono, they collapse and you can barely hear them. You can hear them in stereo, but you can't really hear them very loud in mono. So I have this project that I'm going to continue to produce over a series of videos. This is a 137 beats per minute, kind of uplifting sounding trance track. And let me just play it through here real quick. Okay, so there we go. What it consists of is a kick, obviously, and I've got pads that are kind of up here where they don't belong. I haven't really organized everything yet. Then I've got a bass line, then I've got some percussion, then I've got the main lead here, which is was featured in a prior video of mine, the effects routing on Trance leads, I believe is what it was called. I'll put a link at the end of the video. So let me play those. Okay, and so what I've got here, let me just go through the mix as quickly as possible here. Got the kick, little bump at the fundamental here of the kick. Then we got the strings, which pads, which I've got a Selena strings, I believe it is, smooth strings, EXS24 patch. Then I've got a Nexus 2, kind of a vocal sounding patch here, Voicey Pad 3 it's called. And basically what I have is a Valhalla room with the Bright Chamber preset. I'm going to restructure this later. I just haven't had a chance to do it. I was doing things on the fly to see how they sounded. And so basically just duplicate and copy over the same settings. Then we've got a top bass. Then I've got a sub bass. Now the top bass is actually a pretty wide sounding patch in silence, but I put a directional mixer on here and I cut it way down to where it's more in the middle. Now if I take that directional mixer off, it's going to spread way out and interfere with the leads, actually, which is why I did this. So you can hear that. I actually had a reverb on here, chroma, to add a little bit of ambience. I ended up turning that off. Then it's side chained. So I've got that side chain on that, and then on the sub half of this bass patch, I've got a different side chain. I've got the sub bass side chain setting, not at 100%, about 89%. So it sounds like this. I'm going to play it with and without the kick here for you. So you get kind of a bounce. But you do have the pattern of the top bass. So you get a little bit of a driving, kind of a rolling bass line sound. that kind of fits well with the kick. Then I've got a clap, a shifted clap. Then a hi-hat. I'll just add them all in here, as you'll be able to tell what they are. A couple loops here, then a hi-hat. Okay, now what I want to do is go down here to, I've got 3 layers on the lead, and it's going through this is a track stack. It's going through a summing stack is what they call it, which is bus 2. And let me play that. Now I've got 3 layers. I've got kind of a wider sounding serum layer that's not quite as fizzy. Then I've got a silence layer that has some white noise in it. I designed all these patches from just myself, initial preset, init preset, designed them myself. This one here is a silence that I've got white noise in here. So it sounds more fizzy. This has more of a body. And now this one here is more of the attacky type sound, which is also a silence. And I did some slight pitch modulation. You can barely see it, but there's just a hair of pitch modulation to add a little bit of snap. And then a real short filter envelope. So it's primarily used for the attack. Okay, now that's all well and good. Okay, so it's a pretty decent sounding lead. It's basically each one of these layers is going through a varying different degrees, except for this one. I did not send this to a reverb. It's sent to a reverb bus that's then returned to the sum stack so that it can be controlled by the filter that's on the summing stack. If I didn't return it, then the reverb portion would be unfiltered, so I had to return it to the same track stack bus channel. So that's all well and good, but now when I turn this on, this is a gain that has the mono turned on, and what I ran into was it didn't sound as good in mono, so I had to go in, and let me show you what I did. Let me play it in mono for you. Okay, so you can hear the difference, and it doesn't sound that different from a tonal and a, the reproduction quality in mono and in stereo. But I had to go in, and especially on, let's see here, this silent here, I had to go in and I had to dial down the stereo spread just a little bit because it was turned all the way up. And of course everybody wants a big wide sounding pad or lead sound, but you can't have everything wide, and sometimes when you do that you're going to end up with phase cancellation that will actually diminish your sound on mono systems. And if you can make them sound good in mono, like that sounds pretty decent in mono, then it's going to sound even better in stereo than it would have if you hadn't made the adjustment. So I got this filter turned down here. Let me just turn back up here. So let me A-B that in mono here. So that's what I recommend shooting for, is if you have a big, fizzy, wide-sounding lead, slap a monoing plugin. In Logic, it's the gain utility plugin, and you can click mono on, and then you can toggle back and forth and try to get it to sound as good as you can in mono. Then once you do that, let me unsolo this and play the whole track in mono, and then I'll toggle back and forth. Okay, now I still have a little bit of work to do on this top layer bass. Let me play just the bass and the leads. So I need to go in there with some EQ and do a little counterbalancing between the two parts here, the lead part and the bass part. Carve out some space for the bass to fit in with the leads, and then it will be more mono compatible. That's part of mixing in mono. And so if I go in here, see if so now you can hear it quite a bit more, but if I play it, I mean, it's not going to sound good in the in stereo. It's going to be too loud. Watch. So it's all about A-Bing back and forth. Try to get that balance and check in mono. You don't want to be you don't want to get all psycho about it being all mono. You don't want to get all militant about it, but you know, check some of your sounds back and forth in mono, and try to get it mono compatibility without losing your stereo image. But it will force you to open up all the parts as they are mixed in with each other, so that your mix will sound bigger because of it. Your mix will be better for it. So that's all I have today, and give it a try and give me a shout and on the comments section, and let me know what you think. There are other videos out there that you can go in a little bit deeper on with different genres of music and pure mono compatibility, and just learn how to mix a little bit in mono and see what happens. And hey, you know, if you guys want to be notified of the next video, hit that subscribe button, and if you like this video, hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching today. Have a good one.